welcome back to the Discover Fort Smith podcast. I'm Josh Bufink with the City of Fort Smith, and here is my co-host, lovely co-host,
Josh.
Emily Horn with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, also known as Discover Fort Smith, which is also the name of this podcast. But today we're here with Kristan Moseley, who is with the Fort Smith Boys and Girls Club. Thank you for coming and joining us, Kristan.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you.
So tell us, how did you end up in Fort Smith, Arkansas?
Oh gosh, that's actually kind of a story.
Tell us.
Well, that is what we're here to hear.
So I grew up in a military family. And I was born in Virginia. We lived in Kentucky. We lived in Ohio, Colorado, Germany, and then Washington, D.C. And when I was 15, we were transferred to Fort Smith, Arkansas. I did not really know that people actually lived in Arkansas. I didn't know much about Arkansas. And
what was Arkansas like in your mind?
I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, you have to imagine, I was 15. This is 1994, 95. My friends were like, do they have MTV? Do they have cable? Do they have a mall? And I didn't know. And that sounds so ridiculous. The only thing we really knew was Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton. That's all anyone would say was, oh, that's the Bill Clinton state. Yeah, I don't. So I will say I had mixed feelings, very mixed feelings. And it was definitely moved here at the very end of 1994. And it was definitely a lot different than what I was used to, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you got here, and have you been here since?
I have been here ever since.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
And so how did you get from 1994 coming here to now working at the Fort Smith Boys and Girls Club? Sorry, this could be a big...
That was a great laugh. I'm like, what's this story going to be?
So it's. I never would have imagined myself where I'm at now, you know? So I, like I said, I moved here when I was 14, 15. And at the time, I did not come from a good family or a good home. And I really, high school was difficult for me. I struggled a lot. And when I graduated, I didn't really have a plan at all. And this was back before we really were gearing kids towards like other things besides college or preparing them for trades or just careers, or kind of had that understanding that college isn't for everyone.
Like college or bust.
And so I graduated and really was just living at home was no longer an option because of circumstances there. Back in 1998, when I graduated, everyone did college in person. So online, that wasn't a thing. And so it was a choice between, do I figure out how to be in college and where do I live and what do I do, or do I work? So I worked. And I ended up married when I was 24. I had 2 kids and I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. And it was, I did a little bit of freelance work with I found avenues for content creation, writing for websites, just to make a little bit of money. And I had a blog for a little bit and just did some things like that.
Yeah.
But my primary job was to be a mom, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I never really was very active in the community. I was very insulated. It was me and my kids and our little circle that we went around town, and I never really formed a lot of connections in high school. And it's tough when you move here and you're not from here, and you're from somewhere completely different. And I feel like I never really found my footing. And in hindsight, I think my family circumstances sometimes made me less likely to reach out. I think I felt self-conscious. I felt a little isolated. Everyone around here is like, who's your family, or where are you from? And it's like, oh my gosh, for me, that was such a loaded, complicated question. And so I think I just kind of kept to myself. And so when I got a divorce back in, 2018, was when I kind of had to start thinking, like, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? I'd never had anything in my mind really other than being a stay-at-home mom. And so I kind of just waited tables for a little bit. I managed a store for a little bit, and I ended up landing at a power sports dealership selling side-by-sides and motorcycles.
Nice.
What?
So do you ride?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. It turns out I was decent at selling them.
That's cool.
But I can't ride them. I've never driven a motorcycle in my life, but I had a blast. And it was a challenge. It was something new. I was dealing with people that were not people that I normally was around. And I had a lot of fun. And then from there, my son was a student at Future School. And that school had really been a real blessing to us. Post-COVID, he had struggled with a large school environment, and it was a good solution. And he thrived over there. And they had a job come up for a community outreach director. A lot of COVID grants were going around after COVID ended, and they were trying to help schools recoup student loss after COVID. And a couple of friends at the school who worked at the school sent me the listing, and I looked at it and I said, what do you want me to do with this? And they were like, you should apply. And I said, did you have to go to college?
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I didn't even have a resume. And, but it felt like it was for me. I just knew it was for me. And so I went online and downloaded a resume template and filled it out and sent it in and went in and did interviews and presentations and got the job. And it really just set me on I feel like a path that really changed my life and how I view my community. So from there, that's when, like I said, I started that job and I thought, what is this job? And it was a combination of marketing, of outreach, of just anything you could do to spread the word of the school and raise awareness and bring people in. And so I just started diving into anything I could find, the Chamber of Commerce, nonprofit groups, anything. Mm-hmm. It was very uncomfortable for me because
I would never guess that.
Oh,
because
gosh.
I met you while you were in that role at Future School, and you're always so outgoing, easy to talk to. You seem to know everybody. You know what I mean?
I didn't at first. And it was so uncomfortable for me because, again, that imposter syndrome. And you'd run into people and they would want to know where I went to school or what job I had before that. And I'm like, I was selling power sports. But I felt so strongly about what those kids in that school and what the staff deserved that I was willing to get out of my comfort zone and really push myself to get out in the community and say, hey, like, this is, these are what these kids need. This is what this school is doing. And this is why it's important.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I felt so strongly was because I am a student who graduated without a plan.
Yeah.
And if one adult had come into my life and said, something doesn't seem right with you, and are you going to college? And if not, like, what can we figure out? What can we help you with? It would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of heartache, and it would have really been very, very meaningful to me. Mm-hmm. And so for that, I knew with those kids in the school, a lot of them, they're just one meaningful adult experience away from being on a completely new path. And the way I can help with that is making sure people know how important that is. And so it just helped me a lot to push myself. And then once I started being around other people and doing this work, I just realized how amazing it was to be surrounded by people who pour into their community and care about others. And I realized, like, these are my people and this is what I want to do. And I actually think I really like it here a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. And then now you're at the Boys and Girls Club.
Now I'm at the Boys and Girls Club. So yes, so from there, I was there for a few years, and I feel like in a few years I really did a lot, but I put my heart into it. And I did, trust me when I say I did not do them favors. I mean, I was so blessed to have that job. It was such an amazing opportunity for me. And I told myself, this is a chance to figure out what I want to do and how to get there. And I'm not going to leave anything on the table.
Yeah.
And Beth Presley with the Boys and Girls Clubs, she brought this job to me.
She's amazing.
What's your role?
I am so it sounds very, I'm the grant and marketing administrator. So I do our marketing, and then I do a lot of grant reporting, which is new to me. And when she brought the job to me, that was daunting. I said, I haven't done grants, and I'm afraid this is out of my scope. And she said, you care about the kids and you have a heart for the community. I can teach you this other stuff. And the more I thought about it, I realized it was an opportunity to continue the work I care about. And the work I care about is providing equity to the students in our community. and making sure that they all have that opportunity to find something that creates a spark. And I realized I will still have the opportunity to do this work, but on a larger scale. And I'm going to learn new skills and work under a mentor who is really, really fantastic. And it was just, I couldn't pass it up. And it's been a really, really great opportunity.
When you're passionate about something, it makes it, even though you have a lot to learn, it makes it easier and it makes it more, I don't know, just desirable for yourself to do it. Like I want to do this, you know?
Yeah, it's because you believe in the work that you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you have hard days and sad days, exhausting days, but at the same time, it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah. And I feel like having a spirit of learning is so important, because I would rather work with somebody who doesn't have all the skills down, but who's so open to learning new things and new ways of doing things than, you know, somebody who knows it all kind of already.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. Well, I'm definitely still learning every day. Every day.
Me
But
too.
it's, you know, and every day is different, but that's what I love about it. It's just so fun every day.
That's awesome. So what are some things that are going on at the Fort Smith Boys and Girls Club that you're really excited about?
So let's see.
So that's a lot. I know there's a lot going on.
You guys do a lot.
Yeah.
So we have our summer program coming up, obviously, and that is 2 1-month-long sessions, and it goes from 7:45 a.m. to 5:15 p.m. We feed all the kiddos breakfast and lunch, and they get a snack.
I think that I'm going to pause you there right there. I think that's a huge thing that people don't recognize is how many meals that you are giving kids every day that would not have a meal otherwise.
Yeah.
They don't, and that's one thing that I think we are really working on spreading awareness about. And this was my perception for a long time too, is that the Boys and Girls Clubs is a babysitter.
Yeah.
I love to gently push back on that and say we are actually family support. Because to say babysitter is such a simplification. We live in a community right now where we have 25% poverty rate. We have a large number of people living with food insecurity. And knowing that, we have to agree that families in our community need to be supported.
Yes.
And that goes beyond babysitting. That means that there are single parents or 2-parent working household where how nice would it be to get off work and your kids had their homework done and been fed dinner already. And not only is that cost off your plate, but just that mental load where you can take your kids home and actually just enjoy some time with them before bed. And that's the thing that I would like people to know is that we're not just here to watch your kid. We're here to support you as a family. We're here to help make sure your kiddos are fed. Like you don't have to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
And nobody should. Ideally, that's what a community is for, is we're supposed to plug into the needs of each other.
Yeah.
And we would love to help families with those needs that they have.
Yeah.
So going back to the programming part, you were talking about this summer, 1-month summer camp. No.
It's okay.
That was a good question. But now I'm like, programming?
Yes.
So what do you offer as far as programming goes?
So we have a really robust like STEM, or some people call it STEM, some STEAM. I like STEAM because arts are included in it. Program where they do anything from Lego robotics to chess. They have these really cool chess boards that are electronic that teach the kids how to play. I've never learned, so I've kind of been having my eye on those boards. So we have Esports, which
my son's in Esports.
Yeah, his son's in Esports, and I love the esports thing, and I know a lot of adults look at it and they kind of turn their nose up at it. But this is the thing: is these kids are playing these games already at home. I love the fact that we're providing an option for them to have camaraderie, be supported, have that healthy competition, learn teamwork, and you get scholarships for that nowadays.
For sure,
So
it's blown up in the education industry.
Yes, we have to be willing to adapt and meet our kids where they're at, and that's how we're best going to serve them. And ignoring things like that is not going to help anyone. So all of that is involved in our STEAM and STEM. We do field trips. So our summer program this year is Summer of Discovery. So we're planning anything from Shark Week to
cool.
community trips.
Fun.
So we've got field trips on the calendar. We've got crafts. Last week was spring break, and they had the kids paint rocks gold, and then they all did a gold rush for Wild West. So
cool.
we've always got things planned. It's kids aren't just getting dropped off and wandering around. They're being engaged in structured activities, which I think is really, really cool.
And you guys do like spring break camps and all that for working parents. That's huge.
Yes.
It's at very low cost too.
It is. So this spring break, there was no extra charge. So membership is $30 a year. I would like to add, if parents have benefits like SNAP or Medicaid, that $30 is covered. So their student does qualify for a free membership. And a lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people also think $30 isn't that much. If you live paycheck to paycheck, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And then you say you have 2 or 3 kids, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. And $90 out of one check, that's your water bill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's the thing where those are the type of things I think about. And those are where I realized for all those years when I hid from, I didn't come from a great family, and I grew up with food insecurity. I grew up with these things. And I think now those give me the ability to understand things a little bit more and also bring that perspective to other people, because everyone doesn't think about that. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't been in that situation, a lot of times you don't. Mm-hmm. Most of us are just one person, one conversation away from like learning a new perspective. Yeah. And I have a perspective to bring. And so I'll always want to make sure families know, like, do not let cost be a barrier. We will figure it out. But for spring break, if they had a membership, it was free for the whole week.
That's amazing.
And that was breakfast and lunch every day for a week. And it is. If you are a working parent, what do you do during spring break?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard or expensive.
You either have to do daycare or you have to like try to split the duties between people.
Yes, and a lot of jobs are not understanding of that at all. And so, and what I'm noticing too in our community, especially post-COVID, is, well, my kid's 12, my kid's 13, they don't need a babysitter. We'll just keep them home. And we got in the habit of doing that out of necessity, and now it's turned into just routine.
Yeah.
They are technically probably okay, but what are they doing? Do you know what they're doing on the internet? Are they being engaged in structured things? Are they safe? Are they being prepared to be their best selves? Mm-hmm. So it's my hope that more parents will start recognizing that our kids are spending a lot of time home alone.
Yeah,
and we would like them to join us.
Yeah,
and it's not just younger kids. So you're saying you guys offer youth
6
services?
to 18.
6
to 18.
Wow.
Yes.
And so if a parent has, Medicaid, if they're on SNAP, how do they just come to you guys?
Yes,
and
they just come, let us know that
you just waive it, or?
Yes. So there's actually a program called TANF. It's Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. And what that program does is if they have those benefits, it allows us to give them a free membership so that we are able to assist them. Nice. All they have to do is come in, let the unit director know that they have that benefit and that they qualify for a free membership. As soon as they sign up, it's active right there. So, and then from after that, our programs, which like our summer program, $35 for a month, our after school program, $35 for a semester. So that's one full semester.
After school program, I mean, that is a huge benefit.
Yes.
Because you guys do transportation, you do programming. Like you said, it's not just a babysitter. You have programming.
Yes. They have Power Hour where they work on homework with them. And so we have mentors available for students that need mentors. I was at a school last week passing out flyers, and the mom, she was a single mom, and she said, "Oh my gosh, yes, I need to get him in there. I need help." And I said, "Do you need a mentor?" And she said, "That's an option." I said, "Yeah, like absolutely." I said, we can have an adult come in an hour a week with him and work on homework or whatever they want to do. We would love to do that. And a lot of parents don't know that that's an option either.
Yeah.
So this may be a dumb question, but how many Boys and Girls Clubs are in the Fort Smith area?
This is not a dumb question. We have 4 units.
Okay, 4.
Yes.
All right. And where are those located? I know of the one over off of, is it Evans?
So
Jenny
Evans,
Lind
Evans is over kind of off of Jenny Lind, over near Kavanaugh.
Ingersoll.
That's the one I know of.
Yes, and that's our busiest one.
Yeah.
It's right there. We get a lot of kiddos over there. Then we have Goldtrap Gardner, which is over by Chaffin and Woods.
Dallas Street, yep.
We have Jeffrey Glidewell, which is on North O and 50th. And then we have Stevens, which is on North 6th.
And can parents choose any boys and girls club they want, or does it depend on for after school, things like that? Does it depend on school district or?
So if they enroll for the shuttle, so after school and shuttle are two separate things. You can be in the after school program and not utilize the shuttle. If you utilize the shuttle, you'll have to go to the club that's nearest to your school. Okay. Other than that, if it's parent transportation, you can go to any club that you would like. And there's some parents that during spring break, for instance, their kid might ride a shuttle to this unit, but during spring break, their friend's going to be over here and they're taking them. So they took them over there. So you do have the freedom to do that.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And you guys do sports too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Because I was in some kind of a training with a few people from Boys and Girls Club, and they were talking about, the different sports.
We have right now soccer and flag football. Soccer is a big one. We just wrapped up basketball. Oh my gosh,
my
basketball.
middle son's in basketball, yeah.
I was the kid in gym class that ran from the ball. And now all these parents are calling and they have these questions, and I'm just sitting there like,
They take it basketball's taken very seriously.
That's the other thing I've learned. I thought school parents were serious, and I've learned the thing that's more serious than school parents, and it is sport parents.
But you guys have had some prominent people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jalen,
yes, we have. Isaiah Joe. We actually got the opportunity. Beth secured tickets for our staff to go watch them play. And then we got to go down on the floor after the game and meet them.
So awesome.
And they were so, I didn't grow up in the club. I haven't been working here very long. And so I hadn't met them yet. And it was just a really, really cool thing. And they were so sweet and so gracious and so accommodating of us. And you could tell how grounded and humble they still are. And it was a really, really cool opportunity to meet them. But the amount of people in our community who have come out of the Boys and Girls Clubs just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Even the mayor, when we interviewed him, he talked about what a difference Boys and Girls Club made in his life.
Senator John Bozeman.
Yeah.
Yes, John Bozeman. Yes, he was honored recently with an award from the Boys and Girls Clubs, and he's a strong advocate for us as well.
It's awesome.
So veering away from the work side of things and more towards the fun, living within Fort Smith. You've been here a while.
Yes.
What do you love about the city? What do you enjoy doing? Some of your favorite things when you're not working?
So I love the outdoors. And when I say the outdoors, that does not mean I love the outdoors like I'm out here playing pickleball. I love the outdoors as in a book in the sun.
Yeah. Just to clarify.
Yes. I'm not, when I say I'm an outdoor girl, just know what that means. I first of all, I love downtown. I just love the downtown community. I feel like that's kind of where I found my comfort zone. It's just so eclectic. And I love the people because I feel like there is just a really great group of community-hearted people working downtown.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of things about the improvements that need to be done on the north side. And I feel like, well, until we are working down there and living down there and investing down there, that's what's going to bring about the change that we need in our community. So I love just anything on this side of town. The Riverfront Park. Oh my gosh, that trail.
Yeah.
They've got the bikes down there. I've ridden bikes down on that trail before. I love that. Obviously, the Bakery District, Bookish.
I love Bookish. And the little cat. What's the cat's name? It's like Bob or Sam or
I should know it, but I don't.
This library right here. I can't tell you how many times I've brought my kids here when they were toddlers, and we would just play checkers and let them run around and get some energy out. Anything food. So we have so much good food.
We really do.
What are some of your favorite spots?
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously, Rolando's.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, so good.
Yes, 21 West End is always good, but that's a splurge. That's a
Yeah.
splurge.
I've never been there, but I keep hearing
Oh, it's great.
how awesome it is.
Yeah, you need to go.
Uncorked. Uncorked to me is just, it really doesn't get better than uncorked.
It's my favorite.
Their
Really?
food-
Can I say that on this?
You
I
just
think you
did.
can. It's so unique. It's what I like. It's so different than what we have everywhere else.
Just got myself. It's like, I don't know.
Are you going to get in trouble?
No, surely not.
I mean, you can have favorites too, Josh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Uncorked
Well,
is
Uncorked's
just,
my favorite.
it is.
It's over there by Gazano's
Yes.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Yes, yes. Sodis and Gusanos and
Okay. I've been there either.
No.
I've been to
yeah.
Gazano's. I love Gazano's.
okay,
but-
Uncorked needs to be a must.
Yeah.
Okay.
A must. And
I'm
the
making my
thing,
mental list.
the thing I like about them is they are upscale, but they have very reasonable happy hour. Their
Mhm.
brunch is very reasonable.
I
so
love a good brunch.
it's kind of all
When we
price
going, y'all?
points.
Their brunch is amazing.
She makes these collard green egg rolls and these fried deviled eggs. And I'm
Oh,
just-
the deviled eggs.
Fried deviled eggs. You
Oh
have
my
me. Okay, I'm
gosh.
there. I'm
Yes.
They're
good.
so good.
Yes.
I love deviled
Yes,
eggs.
but-
I
And
could talk
frying
about
them.
stuff like that all day.
Same.
So
Hashtag foodie.
I have a daughter who's 12. And so one of our favorite things to do is we have what we call an adventure day.
Yeah.
And we just pick random things in the community to go check out. And
Bless you.
I was worried that was going to be me today.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. It might be the Marshall's Museum,
Yeah.
riding the trolley. We went ice skating one winter downtown.
Yeah.
We might go to the Bakery District, Lake Terrain.
Yeah.
Where else? What is that park down there at Chaffee Crossing with the big, pretty fountain?
No,
Oh, celebration.
Yes,
Is it
so
Celebration
taking her there.
Gardens? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll just pick some random spots and I'll just say, let's have an adventure day and we'll find somewhere we haven't been or haven't gone in a long time and we'll just go check some things
I
out.
love that idea.
so
It's
fun.
really cool.
I love it.
That's
It's the best
amazing.
day. It's so much fun. So you just pick a couple spots and you've never been and don't know anything about and just go see what happens.
Yeah. And I feel like, too, we're in such a great location.
Yes.
Like, we're so near, like, you've got, of course, Northwest Arkansas,
Mhm.
like Bentonville, Fayetteville, all that, Rogers.
Tulsa.
Tulsa is nearby. Oklahoma City is not that
Mhm.
far, right?
Yeah. 3 hours. Yeah.
But then you've got like the parks around, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I've really enjoyed the location and just having
Yes.
so many, not just what's within the city, but like it's a hub for
it is.
so many
Mhm.
things.
It is. It is.
So great.
What's been your favorite thing to do as part of Leadership Fort
Yes.
Smith?
So I just want to say first, I applied 3 times.
Okay.
3. And I had never heard of it. And when I started with Future School, they said, I'd been there a month or 2, and they said, are you applying for Leadership Fort Smith? And I said, I don't know what that is. And after the second time of getting denied, I said, I'm figuring this out. And what I knew was I just needed to step up my community involvement. And I thought I was doing a lot until I looked around and realized I have a lot more I could do that I'm not doing. And I have loved it. I have loved it. I do not regret it for a second. It has been the best experience. You get to meet so many people who are different than you, but the same.
Yeah.
The thing I love so much about it, and all the places we've been and all that stuff is really cool. The thing I love so much about it, at the beginning, you have a retreat, and we had our retreat.
Yeah.
And it's 2 days, and you spend one night, and you do a lot of team building. We literally did trust falls.
Yes, we did.
Oh, classic.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
But there was more than trust falls, but
Yes.
we did that.
It's like in the movies.
I
It's
mean,
the whole,
is it even team building?
it's the
without-
whole
Yeah.
thing. But the thing I loved so much was how everyone was always on board for everything.
Mhm.
You didn't even have to ask. If something needed to be done, everybody was right there. If they said, okay, we can do this or we cannot, no, let's do it. We're all going to do it.
Mhm.
If we ate dinner, everybody got up and started cleaning up. But there was never anyone who was off to themselves or not pitching in or not being part of the group. And that's what I love about it is we all just have this mindset of we're here as a team, we're doing this together, we're learning this together, we're going to help each other. It's just really great. It's such,
And we've
such a
developed
great group.
a lot of friendships. through
Yes,
it too.
yes, we have. We have. And you hear about people graduate and they're like, oh, they were in my leadership class. And now I get it
Mm-hmm.
because it's really like a really meaningful experience. And I think you carry those connections with you.
So I have not been through Leadership Fort Smith. I did speak about like what is a CVB and what we at Discover Fort Smith do. But can you explain for maybe those who don't know, like what is Leadership Fort Smith? What does it entail? What's its purpose?
Yeah, it's a program through the Fort Smith Regional Chamber of Commerce, and it actually helps local leaders develop in a myriad of ways. But you get to go around, kind of do a tour of Fort Smith in a way. So you'll spend a day learning about city government, local government. You'll spend a day learning about the history of Fort Smith. So you get to do these little days. We had the retreat that Kristan mentioned. So you learn about Fort Smith. You develop a pride for your community. So that's part of it, but it's also about leadership development. You grow as a leader. You gain these connections with other leaders in the community too, so that's super meaningful. And I'd really encourage, if anybody's interested, apply. Go to the Regional Chamber of Commerce website and apply. I don't know if this will air before or after the deadline.
Yeah.
Probably after, but look at it next year and keep applying. If you miss it the first time, figure out why you missed it the first time. Apply again and see if you can get in.
How long is it? How long?
It's a year long. Okay. So it's an entire year, and it is a time commitment. You're committing to, at least once a month, sometimes more than once a month, spending an entire day being a part of this program. And up front, they tell you can't miss more than one or two, I can't remember, times throughout the entire program. But it's very meaningful, very worth it. And I would encourage anybody who's interested to apply, including yourself.
Yes. It's
Josh.
Yeah.
It is absolutely worth it. And you can convince yourself like, oh my gosh, especially if you have a very busy job. I don't have time for that. But you do. You'll make time. And that's part of the thing I love about it too, is you're surrounded by other really busy people, but you see them also taking that day to set aside to learn, how can I plug into my community? What are the needs here? How can I help be a good leader and a good steward of the people around me? And I feel like that's part of why you bond as a class, is you're all like, okay, I've got a million things going on, but today I'm setting this aside and we are doing this. Yeah. It's absolutely, I think, worthwhile. It's a lot. It's a lot, but in a good way, in a really good way.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun too. Just hearing you guys talk about it. Like,
it's a lot of fun. Sometimes too fun.
I think some people have more
Tell
fun.
me more. Tell me more.
Not happening.
Okay, so what happens in leadership stays in leadership.
I think some people have more fun.
I appreciate your loyalty in not naming names here.
I may have sang karaoke on a bus, who knows? Anyway. Or maybe that didn't
There
happen.
may have been a microphone involved or not.
I'm so sad I missed that. I should have applied last year.
So we talked a lot about sports. We talked about some of the programs that are offered, but I wanted to kind of take a little deeper dive into some of those things. Like, what else? Like, I know you guys have a garden at the Evans Club.
Yes.
I've seen that garden.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on with that?
So gardening club, and they meet every Saturday morning at Evans. And you would think that young kids are not going to get up Saturday morning to garden. They do, even in the rain, even in the cold. The really cool thing is if it's raining, a lot of times Rod will take them to the kitchen and they will make salsa and jar it. They've canned beets.
They're learning life skills.
That is so awesome.
Yes. And I love it. And I think it's so cool. One, because they're learning to grow their own food. And I think right now, especially knowing what we know about food insecurity and just availability of healthy foods and food deserts and things like that, it is so meaningful to teach kids that they have the power to grow their own food if they want to.
Yeah.
And you assume that everyone knows this, but they don't. I'm 45 years old, and I'm not sure I could tell you how to plant my own food without Googling.
Yeah. But, and the thing I love is I got to talk to Rod recently about
Rod?
He is the master gardener.
Our master gardener and super volunteer. He is fantastic.
I got to talk to him. He is so passionate about it. Like, he loves it. And that translates to the kids also being passionate.
Yes, he does.
That.
And he's got chickens and a greenhouse.
Yes.
Like at the Evans.
Yes.
That is so great.
Big trees. And we actually have a partnership with Ake as well, where we've taken kids out there for cooking classes. We went out there over spring break and we did a full meal with salad and a pasta and dessert, and everything was fresh and healthy and used produce and herbs.
That's so awesome.
It was really, really cool. So I love watching how they're teaching them to grow food and then actually how to prepare it. And then in some cases, even preserve it. That's just a really, really cool thing. And I think it also is just one of the ways that, again, we can help chip away at these food insecurity issues.
Yeah.
Because it's like a conversation at a meeting we had. And I said, if kids don't know how to cook, a lot of times, a lot of food to them isn't food.
Yeah.
It's ingredients. There are a lot of people who, a few produce in their fridge does not equal food.
Mm-hmm.
And so by teaching them to prepare food and what to do with it, you're actually helping them. Oh, I have these ingredients. There's something I can do with this. I can feed my family with this. And so I think it's really, really cool. I think it goes a lot beyond just a hobby and into something that's actually a long-term
lifelong skill.
Think about the responsibility and the care, that they have to be dedicated to maintaining this garden.
Well, gosh, and they're getting up, like I said, going in their Saturday mornings, these kids, 8, 9, 10 years old. So it's very, very impressive because I'll tell you what I'm doing most Saturday mornings.
Not that.
Yes. Super impressive.
And so we talked about that. We've also mentioned sports, basketball and soccer and stuff. But you have clubs like Chess Club.
Chess Club,
which is pretty popular, as I understand.
Yes,
I've not been to that, but
I still have not learned to play chess. And that's another thing that these kids, oh my gosh, impress me. I have tried to learn. And when you get to the part where you have to remember what piece can go where.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this.
I rage quit. I say enough is enough.
Rage quit.
Yes, enough is enough. And I don't know how these kids do it, but they do. And it is so impressive. I met a little girl the other day. She was 11. I said, "How long have you been playing chess?" She said, 3 years. So, it's super, super cool. They do that.
A music
program, yes. So they learn guitar and piano. So we had a kid the other day. This was not part of the music program, but they play a violin and they just wanted to play it for the entire club. So we gathered all the kids on the bleachers and they played 4 songs and everyone applauded. And it was really, really cool thing. Yeah, we've got a lot of impressive kiddos.
So do you guys provide all of the instruments and everything?
Yes. We get a lot of donations for our music program. And so we use that. The kids don't have to pay anything. And we provide the instruments too.
Mm-hmm. And for like the esports, you guys have computers for everyone.
Computers, Lego Robotics. We have a Lego Robotics team. We've got the Nintendo Switches. So they'll do anything from, what all games do they play? Rocket League, Mario Kart,
2K, NBA.
NBA 2K. I am not as up to date.
Another language.
It's also a foreign language to me. I just remember the word.
Yeah.
I do know about esports though. Have you been to eContender?
Oh, no, but I've seen it.
Yeah, it's cool here.
Is that what they do there?
Yeah. It's esports.
Yeah, it's like its own little hangout place for esports.
It's huge. Esports have just really taken off.
Have. Well, I'm the mom of a kid who was a gamer. My son's almost 21 now, but he was that teenager in his room with his headset on, talking to his friends, playing whatever he was on multiple screens. And, just like we've talked about, I wish that something like this would have been available for him, and it might have been, and I didn't know. But as a parent, when your kid is super into those games, he wasn't a team sport kid. And so that was what he really loved to do. But you worry a little bit. You worry about them being isolated. You worry about them getting that interaction. You worry about them
the
safety, working with other people. And so I love that they have this opportunity to still do the thing that they love to do, but in a way that's safe and that encourages them to kind of meet other people and play with other people. So I think it's just such a cool thing. And every kid has their own lane. And none of them should be left out.
Yes.
So it's kind of a way of making sure everyone has something to do.
The thing I love about all these programs is typically there's donations or grants or community partnerships. And I love seeing how many partnerships have formed because of the Boys and Girls Club. I mean, you guys have, OG&E, I'm sure.
ABB, Cox. Yes, they have been fantastic.
Investing in the Boys and Girls Club because they believe in the mission and what you guys are doing in the area. So
it has been, for me, almost overwhelming to see how much people pour into the Boys and Girls Clubs. And part of my job, especially when I first started over the holidays, was to process donations, end of year donations. And I will tell you, those donations are anything from large checks coming from companies that you mentioned, but single parent households who are writing checks out of their personal accounts. And so I'm getting these checks and I'm looking at them and I'm recognizing some of the names or some of the people. And my heart just like, oh my gosh, there's not a lot of people who are willing to do that. And they're not asking for recognition. Most people in our community don't even know that these people are doing this, but they are. And to me, that's like such a meaningful thing is that I have the opportunity and the privilege of seeing all these people who are just quietly pouring into our kiddos and not asking for anything in return. And so it's been a huge blessing to me just to be able to see it. But you would be shocked how many every day. And I see people in our community will pass away, and in lieu of flowers, we'll get flooded with donations in their honor and their memory. So the community really wraps themselves around us and really, really provides for us and for the kids in our clubs. And it comes from people all levels. It comes from everybody.
I think it's because they believe in the mission
of
what's being done there. They've seen it over the years, how it's transformed kids' lives.
Almost 100 years, 97.
Oh, wow.
97, yes.
So that's a testament. I mean, just to the good that you've done in the community.
Yeah.
Kids are learning skills that they wouldn't have otherwise. And so I am greatly thankful for what Boys and Girls Club is doing here.
I do want to highlight just the employees, the unit directors, the assistant unit directors. Most of them have been with the Boys and Girls Club since they were club kids. Me, I mean, I'm coming in new, but a lot of these, this has been their whole life. They grew up in the clubs and now they work from the clubs and they will retire for the clubs. You don't see that in a lot of organizations, this number of lifetime employees.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are able to get up and do this work that they do every day because they are in the clubs, hands-on with the kids. And that is a whole different kind of work.
Yeah.
You know, I get to be up and around and I'm at my computer and I can pop out and see the kids, go back to my office, but they are hands-on. And, those days can vary anything from providing mental support, emotional support, food. These kids have a lot of needs, and it can be very emotionally and physically, it's exhausting work. And they get up and they do it every single day.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just think just even the ability to support them is a blessing for me because, gosh, they are the ones really, really behind the scenes doing the work that needs to be done for our kids. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
So outside of financially, are there other ways that people can give to Boys and Girls Club?
Yes. So financially is always appreciated. And we have a donate button on our website. Anything people do donate goes directly towards operating unless they specify. There's also the ability, we have a really cool scholarship program for college or for high school graduates for college. And we have a lot of people in our community who set up college funds and they want to sponsor a scholarship. And so that's always an option too. But beyond that, we always need mentors. So if they would like to be a mentor, they can go on our website, fill out an application, background check. Being a mentor is 1 hour a week in one of our clubs. and you'll be paired with a student and you do what you want to do. We have one guy and he comes in and him and the student, they play this video game together every week and they pull up this table and they sit side by side and it's so cool and fun to watch. But we always need mentors for sure. So that's another thing, people, or just volunteer to help at the club, to come volunteer their time over the summer with our programs.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Y'all are doing amazing things. I can't believe it's been almost 100 years.
I know.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But that's just a testament to how deeply rooted you guys are within our community and the good work that you're doing.
Yes.
And you're meeting needs.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast today, Kristan.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
I was so happy to be
fun.
here today.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.